7:30 Tuesday morning. I've got 90 minutes. I got to be back to this bridge. You guys want to come fishing with me? I don't have much time, but let's go. I don't exactly know where I'm going to go or what I'm going to do. I was just talking to a friend of mine by the bridge, and I had one plan in mind, but now I think I'll alter that plan just slightly. I'll stay in the West End because I don't have a whole lot of time. I think I do know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over and find the outside of the weed line with my side imaging. And I've got a very light west wind. It's going to push me right down the whole length of it. And I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll see what's living on the edge. Living on the edge. So I'm going to leave this on. You guys are going to be with me the whole 90 minutes. What's up, Frank? Morning, Mark. All right. So now I'm going to go find the outside of my weed line. I'm in 15 foot of water currently. All right, so you can see my screen here. So I'm still in the middle of all the weeds. I'm in 15 foot of water. So now I'm gonna have to, I gotta get on the, excuse me. I gotta get in, let me get a sip of water. All right. So those are all stalks of weeds right there. That's what you're looking at. That's scattered weeds. Now that's not real thick and it's not too bad, but I want to get to where we're going to see a distinct line on my right side, the right side of the boat. This is the boat right here. All right. So this is my Garmin 9-inch unit. And I use a 7-inch down here as a dedicated GPS map. Up here, I can run this in a number of ways, but this is my side scan out 100 feet on each side. This is my traditional 4-color sonar, and this is in full water column. I'm seeing the full thing, and then this right here, if I'm jigging especially, this is the 2-color down scan 2D view, and I have that zoomed into the bottom 5 feet. So this is my control panel, and this is what I'm looking at. So I've got a map, I've got side scan, and I've got down scan all working at the same time. Now you can see right here that these weeds are a little more broken up out here, but I'm still not to the outer edge. You'll find a distinct line usually where it stops. Well, being I don't have a whole lot of time, I'm probably going to start here, and I'll use the trolling motor to move myself around and pull myself along this edge, and we can get fishing. All right, I'm putting you back on the console. All right, let's get things adjusted here. What a beautiful morning. Excuse me. All right, I got my controller out. All right, so I've got that all set. Let me grab a couple rods. What am I going to fish today? Well, I'm definitely going to fish the Panhandler Ultralight 7-footer. This is my swim bait rod, and I'm going to fish that swim bait, amongst others. So I'm definitely going to bring that out. I've got my 7'1" JTX mag medium light. That's my Ned rod. So definitely bringing the Ned rig out. I've got the Black Rain 6'9" medium extra fast tip. This is my dragon rod. Now I don't know if I'll drag in here because there is some weed, but I can do other things with that as well. I've got I've got two 6'3" Black Rains, one set up with a shiver minnow and one set up with homie Duck Clown. That's my starting 5. I do have 2 reserves on the bench. I've got a JTX mag medium light, a mag light, yeah, that's the heavier one. That's my jerkbait rod, and I also have a 7 the big Black Rain set up as a drop shot rod. I don't know if I'll use either of those 2 today. I haven't thrown the jerkbait in a while. Not that you can't, and not that it doesn't get bit. It does, but I just haven't done it in a while. Let's see, what is this here? Love that sound in the morning. Hell yeah, you get that motor up on plane. I love it too. What a beautiful morning. Lake is very flat this morning. Beautiful sunrise. Let's see here. I'm actually going to start with a shiver minnow in this stuff. Ooh, that was a weed. That got me going there for a second. Beauty of a morning. Scott G, go back in 14 foot of water and throw a jerkbait. Well, the day's young. I might. So there's very little drift this morning whatsoever. The air is barely moving. So I've got my trolling motor on autopilot and it's just pulling me along at about 0.5, 0.6. So you'll notice that well, you may not notice the way the angle is, but what I'm doing is the boat's going this way, and so I'm casting quartering in. As the boat moves that way, my lure comes back around and I bring it in slightly behind me. Now, if and when we catch a fish, we'll take it off spot lock, we'll cast in an area for a little while, see if there's anything more there. So that's one of the problems with I just lost my lure. It's one of those things that if you run long leaders, which I do, and I tie, I don't know what it is, the Alberto knot maybe. The one that's kind of like a Chinese finger handcuffs there. That knot rubs against the eyes on its way in and out when you're reeling and when you're casting. And that time the knot caught. Matter of fact, you can still see the knot. So the knot caught, and I only run 6 pound test on my, sometimes 8, and maybe I'll bump it up to 8, but I usually run 6 or 8 pound test as a leader. I'll go with 8 today. Cortland Master Braid or Cortland Top Secret Fluorocarbon 8-pound test. So this is the knot I tie. This is how I tie. I didn't really expect to do this part this morning, but so this is my fluorocarbon leader end. I make a loop. I put my braid up through it, and then I go 7 turns around both pieces of mono, the tail and the main, and the main end of it. Boy, my fingers do not want to work this morning. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can see what it looks like there. So now when I wrap it back, I put that line back inside the coils, just like that. Then I go back down through the loop the opposite direction that I came up into it, like that. Wet it. So that's that nice small knot that you end up with right there. Now I typically will clip this with nail clippers because it allows me to get closer to the knot. And so that, the idea is to keep that knot as small and as unobtrusive as possible. You want it to go through your eyes as best as possible. So that's what that little knot looks like when it's all said and done. Not even 1/8 of an inch long, more like a 1/16. And now I'm going to tie my paper clip in. I use a Palomar knot on that. So it's open on one end. Man. So you tie half a square knot like that. You don't cinch it down tight. I take the paper clip and push it back through that loop, and now it's forward like this. All right, we're back in business. Well, it's beautiful out here this morning. All right, we gotta make a change here. Roadrunner James, Alberto not. Thank you. Paul Horchek, good morning. I've already burned 30 minutes. It's 8 o'clock. I've had a break off and no bites. No bites. No bites for you. You come back 1 month. Mike, I'm on the west end right now just because I don't have much time. Oneida Shores is right. Oneida Shores is right there. So I'm right in front of Oneida Shores. I'm going to go across to the North Shore. I'm just not feeling it on the South Shore. I'm not going real fast because I got my trolling motor still down up there. But I can go 5 miles an hour. Nice little rock piles over here that I wouldn't mind fishing. Turpa 21. I got to finish sheetrock today, so I only got, I'm waiting for the creek to calm down after all that rain. Yeah. Which creek? the scheme of time saving, I'd have been better off. Okay. I'd have been better off pulling up my trolling motor and zipping over here, but being on the clock changes things. I can tell you. That's like anybody that's ever fished a tournament or a derby, especially a tournament that has set hours where you start and finish at a set time. Oh, I bet. He said the smallmouth in May in the creek by his house is really good. I bet smallmouth are good everywhere in the spring. But I'm sure they get right up in there to spawn too. Yeah, when you're on the clock, that changes things. That the timing and time and how much time you spend doing something or how much time you spend in a spot, that changes. Apple slices, they're what keep you going. What are you trying at the next spot? This next spot I'm going into is shallow, 10, 12 foot of water. It's a little bit weedy, but there's some pretty good rock bottom areas in here. So I want to look and see on my, all right, so let's change you guys around. All right, so you can see right here on the left-hand side, that's the heavy weed edge right there. And it's a little less in here. And I'm heading for that rock pile right there. Now in this spot, I may spot lock. You see how these weeds start to break up right there, and there's pockets where there's no weeds. This is all weeds in here. I haven't been in here really since middle of June, early June. See, now there's where it opens up right there. Just an opening in the weeds because there's more coming in. We're going to give this a few minutes. If not, I have one more spot that I can get to quick enough to where we'll see. I'm picking the swim bait back up here. All right, so I'm going to change This is my working swim bait box and a few other things. Not just swim baits in there. There's some other plastics in there. There's some I'm going to go with a marabou jig. This is very similar to the fighter fly. Hey, in these shallow weeds, you could be throwing a hammer harness in here too. I'm only giving this another couple minutes, maybe 2 more casts, and then I'm going to run down the lake a little bit away from where I got to go. But we're going to go down and run, and there's a couple little rock piles that I like to fish, and a lot of debris in here on the surface too. A lot of floating weeds. All right, let's get out of here. Time's running out. We're halfway through. We're at 45 minutes already. Man, the time flies fast. La da 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 da. I got rocks. I got rocks. My grandmother used to always say I had a rock for brains. Boy, I bet I showed her. I got a little bit of rocks. I'm going to drag right here real quick. 3/8 ounce Kitech football jig with net bait packer craw. Deadly. And I'm just scooting it along the bottom. I'm literally dragging it. That football head keeps it from hanging up in the rocks. It bounces along the bottom like this. It is way more active and aggressive than a crayfish is. And man, when they come and eat it, they eat it. Where the muskie at? Mike Durima, slick is the toughest condition to fish on that lake. Get her done, head deep, and oh, big fish just swirled right next to the boat. Toss old homie and his twin cousin the jig and wrap around. Well, you guys are going to laugh. You're going to laugh. I set the hook on them. I felt them. I did not get skunked today. It's 8:30 though. I'm on the clock, and I got to figure in. I've got a 5-minute, 7-minute run back to the bridge to be back there in 90 minutes. So I am on borrowed time here pretty quick. Couple more weeks, it'll be goose season. This summer's went fast, seems like. I guess they always do, but July was amazing, but it was a blur. And now all of a sudden, here we sit, it's the middle of August already. Fair's going to be starting pretty quick, back to school, fall fishing, hunting season. Things change pretty quickly around here. All right, time to get serious here, ladies and gentlemen. Time to get serial. as I typically do, if you've ever fished with me, as I start to get ready to be done, I'll make a cast or two with each of the rods I've got out. Before I put them away. I just made a couple with the blade bait. But it's a little weedy right here on the outside edge. I'm in 12. It drops off fairly quickly to my outside, to my south, but not quickly enough, and I'm just pulling weeds. So I said, I'll move on. I'll tell you, you got to want to fish the weeds. And you got to be prepared to fish the weeds. I haven't really been weed fishing this year lately. I've been on bare rocks, and for me, it's more enjoyable. Again, I fished the weeds earlier this season when they were just coming up. Using the hammer rig and various other things, and was very successful. But then I've switched over to fishing on the rocks and bare rock, and I enjoy it. You know, I like being able to fish the bottom tight to the bottom and not be all weeded up every 5 seconds. Again, you have to really be prepared and ready and willing and able to fish the weeds effectively. And you got to go in knowing that, you know, how you're fishing it and what you're doing is going to be effective and able to get through those weeds. Because there's no question the fish live in the weeds. It doesn't matter what kind of fish either in this lake. They all live here. And there's just as many walleyes in the weeds, I think, as there are bass. But anything on the bottom is coming up with weeds on it. Anything even remotely near the bottom. Jerry M., do you think all the fresh new rainwater messes up the regular feeding patterns of the eyes? I guess my short answer is no. I don't think so. I mean, I think fish feed. When, how often, you know, this is the optimal time of the year, so they don't have to feed nearly as much this time of year to survive. The water's warm, their metabolism is working. I mean, they don't have to They don't have to feed like they do when it's cold, when they know they need that feed bag on. I think all the storms have messed a few things up, but I don't think it's necessarily the rain. It has definitely changed the surface temp, but again, how much does that affect our fish this time of year? I don't know the absolute answer to that, but no, I don't think so. I think if you went to your normal spots today, I think you're going to catch fish just like you normally would. All right, last cast. Just because I can't resist and I've seen like 20 fish this morning on the surface, we're going to make one popper run. All right, we got to make a mile. All right, we got 5 minutes to make it back to the bridge. Think we can do it? Hold on. You gotta love the Starcraft with that Yamaha power. pushing it. 127 and a half. An hour and 27, so that's what? 80, almost 88 minutes. I see the bridge, we're almost there. With a minute to spare. Alright everybody, that was the first ever 90-minute challenge, and I didn't get skunked. I caught a goby on a Ned rig, and I felt him bite, and I set the hook, and he fought valiantly, and he was that late. But listen, I caught a fish. 90 minutes, maybe this is something new we'll do. I like this. I like talking to you guys. I always love talking to you guys. Merlin, morning, nice to see you live. Merlin, I tried reaching out to you. Our friend Merlin lives down in Steuben County. I was worried sick about you and your family. They declared a state of emergency in Steuben County, and I know some of the towns they were talking about in the area where that's down where I deer hunt too, and I hadn't heard from my buddy, so I'm thankful to hear from you, from Merlin. Mike said, think about the bait situation. I believe this is in response to the gentleman's question earlier about does the rain affect things. About a month ago, give or take, this year's minnows, baby perch, etc., grew large enough for the predator fish to target. The day that occurred, there was never more food in the system. Every day there is a little less, but still so much that the fish become very selective. Fish can feed anytime they like when the conditions suit them. Yeah, there's no shortage of fish. So our fish never don't feed because they don't have any food available to them. On any given day, you can go find a food source and predators. Or you find predators and there's food not too far away. That's just the way it is. If you're out chasing schools of walleyes under these conditions, I wasn't today, but if you were, then you're going to keep looking. Like maybe tomorrow we'll do just walleye jigging all for 90 minutes. And I'll get out there earlier and I'll look around, I'll see what I can find, and then we can start the clock. It's fun, and you don't realize, you think 90 minutes, that's an hour and a half. That's a long time. Like if you had to sit and listen to, a class or something in school, I'd be sound asleep. 90 minutes of fishing goes like that. I fished 3 spots, one of which was only for about 10 casts. You really, when that short of a window of time, you got to be on them, or you got to be right close to them quickly. That was a lot of fun. 3.5 inches of rain in Marcellus this last 4 days. 9 Mile is still all brown. I bet it is. Yeah, we've had same amount up here or more. I mean, it's been crazy. Pike Master. That's why they call it fishing and not catching. Yes. I messaged you back. I didn't see it yet. Sorry, buddy. I'm so glad to hear from you. So glad. I've been thinking about you for days. All right. Thanks, everybody. That was a lot of fun. I'll put this up. I'll put it up live. I'll put the live up as a thing so you can watch it, whatever. And listen, some days we're going to have more action. We'll have some special guests. But 90 minutes Monday through Friday. Now, the weekends won't be 90 minutes. The weekends I got time. During the week, I don't have time. So we'll go from there. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Right on. I don't know what happened with yesterday's video. It would not upload, so I'm going to re-edit it here when I get home quick and post it. Our morning fishing report. There was a nice message in there that I want to make sure gets out. So I'll put that up. I'll put that up later. I tried uploading it twice yesterday to YouTube, or maybe I'll put it on Facebook and just put it out there. But I'll do that when I get home as well. Thanks, guys. Love you all. Keep your tip up.